Hello and welcome back to Animation Master Summit 2021. I'm your host, Mrinalini. Before we get on with the session, I would like to lay a few house rules for the Zoom webinar. Number one, kindly do not use the raise hand tab in your Zoom window, as this can hamper your viewing experience and cause visual disturbances. Number two, if you have a question to our master, please put it in the Q&A box and not on the comment box. Hope the house rules are clear to all. With that, it is time to begin our first master session at AMS 2021. Our first master is a true doyen of Indian advertising, a distinguished theatre person, writer, and columnist. He is the man behind some of the most popular ad campaigns of our time, including one of the longest running campaigns ever for a brand, everyone's favorite Amul ads. Without further ado, I would like to welcome on the AMS stage India's renowned ad guru, Sri Rahul daCunha. Rahul ji will be interviewed today by artist, director, and chief creative officer at Tunes, Sri Hari Verma. Over to you, Verma ji.
One second. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, great. Oh, so welcome, Rahul. It's almost like a very nice conversation we are going to have.
Yes,
especially because I have tried to get some questions from the studio and also from my young colleagues and some people, and I also put some certain questions which can matter to today's discussion. So, friends out there who are participating in this, let me tell you, Rahul is a synonym to Amul girl. In fact, he is the synonym. He is the person who has brought in that whole brand to this level, and the girl everybody would like to hold and cuddle, and at the same time giving strong, hard messages to the world. He has been doing that on the hoardings, and then now it is on social media. And I think he's the right person, especially when it comes to communication. He's the right person to listen to. So. I just want to ask you only one thing in the beginning. Like, we have been seeing the various versions of Amul girl from old age from hoardings, very static looking stuff, and now it's dynamic hoardings, and also through newspapers and social media, which are very, very, very hilarious but hard hitting most of the time. And one thing I have noticed is that, even if you're bringing other characters into the images, it is also having, it has the same style you are bringing it into that. So the first question might be for, it is like, how do you do this? And every ad, every hoarding, every piece which appears hits on the spot, okay, or on dot actually. How do you make it happen? What are the kind of team you are? What are the kind of process you take up before this comes? Every day new things come. For example, 2 days back you brought Mamata Butterji, and now 3-1 drum and all those things you have brought in just a day or two. So how do you make it happen so fast in such a beautiful way?
First of all, Hari and everybody, good morning, and good morning to all the participants, because it's always wonderful to know that there are people out there who are interested in what I have to say. So, but this is a very, 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 Hari, a very loaded question, because so I'll address it in various parts, because it has a lot that goes into my answer in the sense that, so one of the main things that I need to say is the team that has created the Amul. I mean that, there is only one person, two people who can be credited for having created this campaign, Haribhai, and that is my father.
Yeah.
And his art director, a gentleman called Eustace Fernandez, back in 1965. And that is like every morning, Hari, I wake up and do a kind of pranam or namaste, to him, because of the fact that to have the vision, and to have the sort of foresight to realize that long-term planning for advertising is so important.
Very true.
You know, I think just to I'll answer your question and go back, but it's so much. When you look at, if you just look at the IPL and the number of ads that ran on IPL, 95% had celebrities in them.
Yes.
I mean, Ranveer Singh might as well start his own cricket team, right? Because he was in every commercial.
Yeah.
Then Dhoni, then Kohli, and you then ask yourself that how can clients be? I don't know. It's not stupid because they are seeing returns. They believe that if there is a celebrity in the ad, a viewer will look at the ad and say, fantastic, Ranveer Singh is recommending it, let me go out there and buy it. Right? But who I blame is the ad agency. Because they are not telling the client, do you really want to spend this kind of money? Because at the end of, so today, IPL is over, right? It was earlier going to be over on the 30th of May. Now it's over today. I want them to do a research and to ask which are the brands that we're seeing endorsed. And Hari, you will find that nobody remembers. They just remember him behaving like a buffoon. That's all they remember. Jumping around, wearing various costumes. The only person who's made any money is Ranveer Singh. You know, so I think there was a foresight, Haribhai, back in 60s that luckily there were no celebrities in the 60s. You know?
Yeah. So the girl became the celebrity. Yeah.
So you create a long-term project because you know that because today Ranveer Singh has a string of flops.
True.
I'm not blaming Ranveer Singh. I'm just saying that the short-term vision is based on a celebrity of another product, which is Bollywood.
Right.
I can understand a situation where you're, you know, it's like, say, something is dependable, then you get Rahul Dravid because dependability, whatever. Here, could be anything. So the thing is that to answer your question, the reason that we can think so quickly and really, you know, this idea of moment marketing has never been as crucial as it is now because news is so, I mean, frankly, we were doing moment marketing long before social media was even thought of, you know. But what is important, Hari, is that our team has stayed the same. You'll be amazed to know that over the last 27 years, only been 3 people that does this. Manish Javeri is the writer, Jayant Rane is the artist, myself.
Yes.
So it becomes, I would not say it's ever easy, Hari, because it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy because, I mean, the beauty about this campaign is that it reflects a country that is India.
Correct.
And India reflects Amul, right? It's a vast country.
True.
It is a divided country. But that's beautiful for us because it allows us to do topicals that are national. We can do topicals that are Bombay, that are, as you saw, Tamil Nadu specific, Kerala specific, Calcutta specific. And because the team has stayed the same, Hari, we can do it quickly.
True.
So all 3 of us are early risers. So we wake up in the morning. I send a message to them to say, was IPL is suspended. Let's do a topical today.
Right.
So already the mind is working. You know, how many characters to show, what is the line. So when you're already preempting, because everybody, between the 3 of us, we pretty much know what is going to be in the news. The day of elections, if Didi won, that would be a topical. I mean, there's
Right.
So you're already thinking, you know, your mind is already working. So I think when you have 25, 26 years behind you, Hari, already you're in that zone.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that answers my question. Actually, it is connected with the same, you know, the way you have answered this. It comes to the next question. Actually, you know, you have driven me to the next question, which is Amul is it's an Indian brand, whole of India, the national brand, if not global. So there are different sensibilities. It's so diverse. The country is so diverse, and there are sensibilities are so different. So, do you have any strategy to address all these sensibilities, or any plan to do that? Because especially because the social media, which is huge these days, do you have any plan to strategize that kind of stuff where every a region is addressed or the sensibilities?
So there are two and that's actually something that has come up this year very, very strongly.
Yes.
Hari, I've always believed that there's no one India.
True.
Okay. In fact, about 10 years ago, there were 5 Indias.
True.
Today there are 200 Indias, right? And specifically, I wanted to talk about the South, specifically, because that has always been a challenge. And it has been a challenge that I have not, frankly, addressed with enough seriousness till this year, till the pandemic hit, really. When I realized that the South, and forgive me the South, but the 4 states of the South really are different from the rest of India.
Right.
And I say this because you're united by 4 completely different languages. Okay, 90% of these 3 states don't talk in Hindi.
Correct. That's true.
So automatically, our medium of headlines and baselines is 70% Hindi.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if not Hindi, then English. It's a derivative. Even if it's an English line, it will refer to a Hindi film song. It will refer to a clever turn of phrase that is Hindi. So the interesting thing about the 4 southern states, especially Kerala and Tamil Nadu, is they're very clear they don't want Bollywood. We have our own Hindi film scenario, our own heroes. Rajnikant being one of the key ones, Kamal Hassan, Chiranjeevi. And then you have your politics are different.
Yes.
Your political leaders, as the elections have shown, are so clearly, So the challenge is really, how do we do topicals that the rest South do not feel ki tum log, you're just doing a national topic and
Only
sending it, and then just sending it to us,
Yeah.
So it's quite beautiful now. In the last 6 months, I quite deliberately focused on a whole team of mine and a team of Amuls, letting us know what are the crucial things happening in Kerala and Tamil Nadu especially.
Right.
What we've also done, Hari, is we've started a Amul page, an Amul social media page only for Tamil Nadu and Kerala.
Wow, that's amazing.
So we do topicals that only go there, certain topics that are only. So now at least I feel more comfortable knowing that, because the national papers don't tend to really cover regional issues, unless you're buying the regional paper, So I feel more comfortable, and sensibilities are real. I mean, they're like, there's no national topic anymore.
Correct.
So everything is, I mean, earlier we used to do, we had a sense where it was more festival based. It was more, say, IPL, CSK, Sunrisers, it was more regional news that was nationally important.
Right.
But now it's interesting that I think we get the feelings, we're in touch now with the southern agencies also, that Amul is quite sensitive. And more than that, is aware of what is happening in the south.
Correct.
Enough to do topicals that are southern.
Yeah. Now, a short, maybe a simple question: how do you stay out of controversy? And even if you get some controversy or any feedback or something, does that actually influence your creative thinking process?
I would, it's a really interesting question, because, Hari, I have known you now for, 10 years, 11 years.
Yeah, much more than that,
we worked together. We've worked together on the girl and on the figuring out,
Correct. How to make it 3D.
How to make it, yeah. The thing that is interesting is this is my 30th year handling the brand.
Right.
And every year there is a new definition of controversy.
Okay.
Because, and the thing is, it's beautiful. I've never looked upon the sensibilities or the sensitivities or the trickiness or the way that, there's a term called intolerance that I keep hearing. Have you become intolerant? We always were.
Right.
It is, nobody likes to be laughed at themselves. When we never had a sense of humor about ourselves. We're happy to laugh about other people. and we're happy to laugh at things that don't have malice in them.
Very true.
So the one lesson that I learned early on is don't be malicious. And the beauty is, you've been in animation for a large part of your life. The moment you see an animation character, Hari, your stress levels go down by 20%.
Very true. Exactly. I agree. Totally.
It's a bit like I have a cat.
Yeah.
I look upon a cat as being an animation character because this is why animation characters are animals. So often they're animals,
Yeah.
because they just express in a way that if you just look at a cat for the whole day, you'll become an animation expert.
Yeah, very true.
So a little girl with a polka dotted dress, with a polka dot and blue hair,
Yeah.
and animals. How can you not smile? You're already smiling. She's always been 7 years old.
So cute. Yes.
Yeah. So the moment she says something, the moment she makes a comment, automatically you're not taking it badly.
Very true.
I will say this much, that I'm happy to say that over the last couple of years, our PM, Rahul Gandhi, Mamta, have all at different points in time praised the campaign. And that tells you that there's a certain reverence to what is frankly, Hari, the longest running campaign, certainly longest running outdoor campaign in the history
of course it's,
So it's but as in any country, there is always, like one of my jobs I always say is to navigate the campaign.
Right.
Because there's no doubt that social media has both been fantastic and not been fantastic. It's been fantastic, and that is a game changer in that it is double the number of topicals we do, because there are so many issues that are specifically social media.
Right.
That don't interest. It's like, I'll give you an example. I learned a few days ago about a band called BTS.
Yes.
I was blown out of my mind, Hari, because I had not heard of them, frankly.
Yeah.
And I'm a music buff, right?
Right.
So I'd heard vaguely of Korean pop, K-pop, BTS, and then they did a song called Butter. So this whole BTS army wanted BTS and Amul to collaborate on a song. And that became a huge social media phenomenon, Hari. It had a life of its own.
Wow.
It was just, now the average person on the street would not know of BTS.
No, yeah, true.
It's a millennial, it's a social media favorite. So it's part of my job, I would say, is to navigate what is nationally important, or let us say what is mass media important.
Very true. Okay.
And what is social media important, and just the handling of that.
Okay. Now, that's next question is a little, only maybe you can answer only that, our audience, if you really look at, most of them are very, very young, very young aspirants who wants to get into media entertainment. And I mean, now that, advertisement has become a big thing, they also want to get into advertisement, not necessarily animation, even the whole communication of animation. What I want to ask you is, can you share some wisdom about the communication aspect per se, for the newbies, the people who have all kind of gadgets, or all kind of platforms and formats and all those things. How do you think about what can you give to them? It's more of a wisdom from your side.
Hari, it's something that will never change.
True.
And it's interesting that there is a leading TV channel that has now got a digital platform that asked me to write a column on the Hamara Bajaj campaign.
Oh, okay.
Now, Hari, I was part of the creative team that created the campaign back in the late 80s.
Right.
And so writing that campaign gives me a lot of wisdom for today's aspirant. And I realized that nothing has changed from that time.
Okay.
Because see, as a creative person, if you just take the copywriter,
right?
I'm a copywriter. I've always been a copywriter. And so therefore my advice to the copywriter or the art director is that you are in this business not because you write well or because you visualize well. That's a given.
Correct.
If you can't do those things, you should not be an advertiser.
Don't be there. Yeah.
Then join dad's business and make leather wallets.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right.
But you have to have ideas.
True.
You have to have ideas. You have to be bubbling with ideas. You have to think out of the box. You have to be able to, Karim, and to everybody out there, my biggest piece of advice is when you are asked to think of doing an ad for a brand, we always say, what's the brand's USP or what's the brand's features? My point is not that. My point is it's your job to figure out what is a brand benefit that is not made in the factory.
Oh, okay.
Because brand benefits otherwise are made in the factory. वैसे उसका नहीं चाहिए.
Right.
So when Hamara Bajaj was faced with competition by other scooters that had technology, that had foreign collaborations, the one thing that Bajaj had that nobody else had was a feature not made in the factory, which is Indianness.
Right.
It had Indianness. It was the only Indian brand.
Bajaj,
and we played that, Hamara Bajaj. And it was just, so you locked into people's Indianness.
Correct.
You told them that you have a scooter. Because in the late 90s, every second Indian owned a Bajaj scooter. But we played on that. We didn't say that because we could not advertise a foreign collaboration. We could not advertise that you're a beautiful looking, you were not a beautiful looking scooter. So the issue of ideas, when a creative person tells me they don't read, I wouldn't hire that guy. Because I'm sorry to say, today's kids don't read. And I'm sorry to say this out there, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I may be completely wrong. But I'm given an excuse that, I have no time to read. Then what are you doing? What are you doing the whole day? Are you playing station? So these are very important things for any creative person, Haribhai, which is think of ideas, read books, watch your Netflix by all means, because today's films are good films. There's ideas in them. They're not just blockbusters. Feed your mind. This has to be buzzing with ideas, just read about advertising, read about film, read about animation, read about what goes into the various aspects of, read about art, read about Picasso, read about, listen to music. Music is the greatest, so it's really, I think my big advice is feed yourself and arm yourself with enough stimuli, which then becomes a part and parcel of you. Okay. So when you write those ads or make those films or do those animations, it's easy to do then. You're not struggling then for raw material, basically.
Okay. Another thing I wanted to ask you is, Amul Girl is a brand. Amul is a brand. Amul Girl herself is a brand now. So do you have any plans to have some other characters also, bring in some other characters also to the foray to address the similar kind of social issues and, or maybe, which a Amul Girl cannot be handling, that kind of characters. So do you plan to bring in or
no.
Do you have it?
No.
You don't have. Okay.
Because she handles anything, yeah.
Okay.
The fact that she's like a chameleon.
Yeah, it can change. Yeah, correct.
She can be anything you want her to be. She can be Kareena Kapoor. She can be, she can be Sania Nehwal. She can be anybody, and she can comment on anybody. That's the beauty of animation. The animation character is not bound by here and now.
Correct. And you're the column in Midday. So I'm a regular reader of column in Midday. So how come you went into the Sunday Midday kind of stuff? Is it because of the observations you made seeing around, or how is it? Could you just elaborate on that?
So, just for those who don't know, I write a Sunday column called Zara Hatke, and it's one of the things that I learned very early on as a writer, Hari, is you have to write every day.
Right.
You have to write 500 words every day. So I find that a column allows me to do that. It's just a weekly column means I'm writing every day.
Yeah.
I have so many ideas that I can't express in any other form. Either they take too long to make a documentary or to do an animation film. A column allows me to express things that I'm thinking. As you know, I like to, because I like character creation. Characters allow one to, people remember Hari.
Yes.
The reason why the Amul girl is remembered is because she's a character.
Yes.
She's become lovable because she's somebody who has been there for so long.
Yes.
So you and I have been talking about. So I created a character in for my column. So his name is Lobo Lobo.
Oh, Lobo, yeah. Okay.
He's a cartoon character who is he's a fictional Tata sort of cable operator who is my character, who talks to me about things that bother him, and what bothers him bothers the country for the most part. So what's interesting is his animation character, and now people remember him. So when I ask people like what is the last column, they remember all the Lobo Lobo columns.
Okay.
They don't remember. They do remember, but they don't remember what I call the single columns so well as they remember this guy.
Oh, wow.
Because he's a character and he addresses what they address, and most important, he makes them laugh.
True.
The joy of, I think, especially in these times or any times, is we want to smile.
True.
I think over the years, the Amul campaign, Karibai has always made people smile.
True.
And so I think humor seen through a character, I think, always has a winning formula. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Now coming to our industry, so essentially, I'm talking about animation. So I know you are, essentially it's storytelling, whether it's a short form or long form, it is a storytelling. I would like to know everybody would like to know your take on animation, and especially when we have done together that Amul girl converted to 3D and then did a few for the MasterChef program. That's what we did for them, a few ads. It was really good, and we also felt very nice doing it. And what do you think about, and do you plan to make any film in 3D animated film or normal film, or especially long form storytelling in animation? And what do you take on animation? What do you think about animation as a medium for telling stories?
I absolutely love animation. It's one of my greatest loves. And I just love, you and I talked, I saw this movie called Soul yesterday.
Yes. Yeah.
And I just sat where I was sitting after finishing it.
Yeah, correct.
By the sheer brilliance, as a piece of work, it's just out of this world. And it's also about music. So it was beautiful,
right.
The whole.
Very true, very true.
But also the way that animation can express what live action cannot express. I actually I have a favorite expression, which is when animation meets reality. I love that combination of, that there was a great Michael Jordan film many years ago. I love the combination. Space Jam. I feel that animation just is, filmmaking is great, but animation is truly moving. Every film that is made by Pixar,
yes,
or backed by DreamWorks or whatever, is taking animation forward.
Correct.
And it tells stories that I think live action can't do.
Can't say, yeah.
Because you can make an animal or a character, an animation being anything you want it to be.
True.
And then backed by voices that are from the industry. It's a gift. I'm drawn towards animation characters. So therefore the Amul girl, therefore Lobo Lobo. My joy is to move towards animation.
Wow. So you're welcome.
Yeah. And it's like, if you and I have talked about making Lobo Lobo into a character.
Correct.
I would love to one day make a film about Lobo's adventures, kind of like a Harry Potter kind of thing.
Yes, yes.
But I think the reason why animation has become such a big thing, like from those, like earlier Tom and Jerry and stuff, as fun as it was, they were short films. You
Yes.
didn't. But with the onset, and I may be wrong here, but the onset of 3D, with the Zootopias and the
Yes.
Shreks of this world,
Right.
we were able to start telling a 2-hour story.
Correct.
People got used to, because we were so used to live action at that time.
Right.
You were used to seeing animation in short forms.
Right.
We're now ready to see 2 and 3 hour films and animation. And it's not children, it's not just kids. It's Despicable Me and all is not just made
Not
for,
at all. Not at all.
It's not just kids looking and smiling.
Yeah, that is exactly the point where, earlier days, when we go to a movie theater to see an animated film, you see some 20-25 kids and one parent bringing them for the film to be shown on theater. Now things have changed. The adults have started seeing, thanks to films like Inside, Outside, Up, and this Soul and all those things. It's all very, very generic kind of, and very high concept. If you really look at Up and Soul, it's very high concept. So it is for all ages. So that is also becoming a major thing. So I think you have a great platform in animation, medium in animation for telling stories. That will be fantastic. So would you like to do a film?
Soon? We'll do it together.
Yeah, okay. That will be fantastic. Now, away from animation or whatever we have discussed now, I would like to. Would you like to talk something about your theater and present situation?
It's a very interesting. It's a really interesting question, Hari, which is that what do you do in certain art forms or certain performing arts that have been affected badly by the virus?
True.
At the end of the day, animation, writing, these are mediums that are affected by the pandemic, of course, but it has not stopped work.
Right.
In the theater, it stopped work, because it's just, the moment you have a medium that is dependent on people watching it in a public space.
And getting reaction also,
And that's the,
That's the heart of it,
So the difficulty with the theater is that you all try to move towards Zoom as online theater, but it's a perverse, it's an oxymoron, because theater means you want to sit there, you want to clap, and you want to enjoy stuff, So we're going to be some time away from going back to those spaces, Hari. And also, I don't know, there are two issues. One is that the physical act of going back to the theater and of sitting there, not worrying about somebody coughing,
correct.
2 seats down.
Yes.
But also, what is going to be the content?
True.
It's like, are the films being made? Do they involve masks? If you make a film that is set in 2021, what is it about?
Okay.
Is it about a person who's like, is it a COVID world? Is it so the theater is a good learning for us to really think about yahan se kahan jana hai, because you don't want to, of course we'll always watch the West End and Broadway, Hari, because they are the pioneers and they are the guys who really make a living from it.
True.
So they really have to get the economics figured out. But at the moment, it taught me a lot, which is that it's, when you're faced with a business of mine,
True.
That's just closed down.
Yeah, correct. And if you really look at now coming to the Amul Girl hoardings again. Earlier days it was outdoor hoardings. Now after that it has become on newspapers, and now it is on social media and all those things. Now it has refined a lot, whether the visual or the way of communication and topics are also, it is much more than earlier times, a lot of controversies and all this stuff. Do you think any new technologies, you must be knowing about augmented reality and virtual reality and all those kinds of stuff. So do you think have any possibility for Amul Girl get into augmented reality or virtual reality?
Yeah. You're right. I don't know enough about, and we'll talk about it, but I mean, I think because we moved from the hoardings went from painted hoardings to vinyl hoardings.
Yes.
We've often thought about, but yeah, I mean, animation, the fact that she's animated could help us a lot in making her truly more than three-dimensional technically, but to make her alive, to make her. The only thing, of course, is that because she's so quick changing, like the economics will have to work out, because her doing commenting on a certain topic has a shelf life of 24 hours.
Yes, true.
It's not like it's an overall theme that lasts for, a week or a month, So is there a simplified, like, is augmented reality simple enough to be able to make something at low cost to comment only on the Tamil Nadu elections for that period?
Yes.
Till the CM is elected and sworn in.
Yeah.
Because after that, life goes on. Like after that, what happens? It's not
correct.
So yeah, I think anything that to do with animation technology will become interesting for us now, Hari. In the way of how we take the Amul Girl forward.
Yeah, like for example, I mean, when you spoke about augmented possibilities there, you spoke about the time and the time of making and time of release, very topical and all. See, now there are technologies, something called virtual production, and also something called Unreal Engine, and all those things are originally it was conceived for Unreal Engine is conceived for games, but now it is being used for film production, feature film production. So those are the things which can actually, just like that, you create a piece and then release it tomorrow morning. Yeah. So that kind of things are really picking up. Yeah. And there are studios exclusively for this, making Unreal Engine. There are facilities available for virtual production and having a virtual background. And, so you can make her speak anything. Yeah, make her speak anything and a lot of stuff. So that's all essentially. Now, coming to the last point is the use of animation within the advertisement. You have seen a lot of advertisements everywhere. Nowadays, there was a mix of animation and live action. Now you see most of animation within the advertisement itself. So from the advertisement perspective, visual communications perspective, where do you think this animation take a part, and how much it is going to go? And like the earlier one, you were talking about different regions where product like Kalyan Jewelers, they did with all different actors, superstars of regional things like that. There are experimentations done, and which was quite successful. Now, for advertisements especially, the role of animation is huge now.
Okay.
So, what do you think about essentially about animation and advertisement exclusively, not just about animation?
I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly don't know, because we've not explored it really, and I'm sure it's big, but I don't really. I think we're just trying to get out of this incredible hole that advertising is in.
Yeah,
So therefore, digital becomes more important for us. I've really thought about where animation specific, So,
because I spoke about augmented reality, especially because of the thinking of the character Amul Girl, because it's a character which is very, very near to your heart, or a character to be held and cuddled, that kind of character. So augmented reality actually gives that virtual feeling, virtual experience of getting the character. That's amazing. I think we should explore. That. Okay, I think my questions are over. That's it. Do you have anything else to say to animation fraternity and that not necessarily communicate in anything in general, so that we can switch into the questions which have come?
I think I'm ready for questions. Yeah, I want to know. I'm
fine.
Keen to know what people.
So Mrinalini, I think you could take over and anyway. Before that, let me thank you very much for
most welcome.
Thank you. Fantastic. That was a great session, and all the people out there, you have taken time to listen to this master. I'm so happy, and Tones is always there to give you masterly advices through these kinds of masters who have spent decades in this industry and a lot of experiences and advices and all this stuff. So thank you very much,
Thank
Rahul.
you.
And I'll be there for the Q&A, but Nalini can
Thank you
take
very
over.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the super interesting conversation, Rahul ji and Mamma ji. Advertising is something that strikes a chord with most of us in the audience today. Thank you very much for providing us a sneak peek into the workings of the ad industry. We will now move on to the questions from the audience for Mr. daCunha. And we have the first question from Saubhagya Varma. And she asks...
she's my daughter, Rahul.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she asked, these days viral memes are turning into brand accepted ad campaigns like the Bernie Sanders meme, which becoming an IKEA product campaign, or Signal app gaining popularity over WhatsApp on a randomly made meme post related to privacy in either of the apps. How are these trends affecting the advertisement industry? What are your thoughts on this? Is it leveling the game up or pulling it down?
I don't know what the question is. I don't understand the question. I'm sorry.
I'll repeat it.
Let her ask it. Can she ask? I don't understand what it means. I mean, can you explain what it means? It's a complicated question. So. I expect nothing less from Hari's daughter.
No, it is more of a meme getting into advertisement. And does it actually affect the advertising industry? A lot of popular memes are coming, like Bernie Sanders and all that.
So everybody's doing it, but it has to be sustained. My interest is that memes have been there for the longest time, but the meme has to be brand building. A meme is not a joke.
Yes.
A lot of people think that they can write Amul ads, but an Amul ad is not a pun.
Correct.
So similarly, you can write a meme, but what has it got to do with life? You have to sustain a meme over months and over years. Can you be funny constantly?
Mm-hmm.
To write a meme, one meme, two memes, three memes. What is the topic about? Is the brand going to constantly evolve? It's like the kind of work that Durex does is funny. They over a period of time they use elasticity. They've gone beyond sex. See, that's a really good example where they moved it out of durability and sex into other areas.
Oh, okay.
But I don't remember any other memes really that have worked in advertising other than like a quick one, like let us say Fevicol will do something about something funny, But what are they doing next month and what are they doing the month after that?
Sustainability, essentially.
What are you going to do next year? Moment marketing is fine, but what about long-term marketing?
Right.
That's my real interest.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So
the next,
we have another question from Hiranmai Narayanan. So the question is, Rahul sir, you are an avid traveler. Do you bring your travel experiences into your work? If yes, we would like to hear about it. Here an example.
Great question. Superb. Hari, this is the kind of question I want to know.
So that you have ready answers.
So actually what is interesting, Nalini, basically, what's the person who's asked the question?
Hiranmai.
So Hiranmai, hi, thank you for that question. Actually, the thing is, I'm an avid photographer. And that is the thing that helps in travel, because one of my failings was I never felt I was a good visualizer when I was in advertising. I didn't think that I was a writer basically. How do you think in pictures? Because the idea being that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So how to tell a story? And that's an interesting lesson for all the visuals out there, is that can you write a meme that does not need a word? Can you tell me a picture where I don't need to explain what it is? And that is something that travels have taught me a lot, which is that how can I best tell? Because all great creative people think in pictures.
True.
And they think in pictures, and it's at the moment, but the kind of travel that one will do to Middle Eastern countries, to countries like the US, is wonderful because it's so visually colorful, it's I mean, of course allows you to recharge your batteries and all that, but if you really like, if I just talk about photography for a second, photography is a big passion of mine, Hari, and it's a
Yeah, I know.
in one of the
You have been giving the street photographs and all those lot of.
So the thing about spending time on the street, it's like if you want to shoot, when people shoot the perfect sunset, you can't just shoot one shot of the sunset and say that's a great shot.
Mm-hmm.
What is the photograph that you're shooting that nobody else can shoot? What is the photograph that you're shooting that is not, the credit should not be given to your camera? Because today's cameras are great. Just aim and shoot, and like, wow. And Facebook, everybody praises you on Facebook. But what is your point of view? And I find that travel in many ways allows me to stay humble, because your point of view may not be relevant next week. And there's a huge universe out there, that really centers you, I think.
True. Amazing. So you have actually, with an answer, you have given the soul of photography also.
It's like a meditation, no?
Yes.
So, it's when you shoot, like now it's big, but in the early days when you wanted to shoot a great shot in India, let's say seminar in Hyderabad, to get a great shot, you have to sit in front of the Charminar the whole day.
True, to get the right one, yes.
Correct. The whole day, there's no negotiation. It's a whole day thing where you are shooting it in the morning. Who's coming in front of it? What is it like in overhead light? What is it like in the afternoon where you can't shoot as much? Who is coming? Who's coming to pray? Who's coming to, the people around it selling? Shoot it as the evening light comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And that Charminar will change meaning.
Correct.
You can't see the Charminar merely as a monument.
True. Mm-hmm.
It's storytelling. Yeah. So once again, whichever way you go, it's telling a story.
Yeah, and very interestingly, this is one topic which we are actually taking up as a course in one of the courses where we are talking about children's using cameras, mobile cameras, and takes everywhere. They keep taking. We are trying to teach them how to take meaningful photographs, good photographs, which can tell a story.
Yeah.
In put in a sequence.
Yeah.
That, as you rightly told, you have to tell a story ultimately within one frame or multiple frames.
Yeah, you can't picture.
Yeah.
It's you're not shooting a picture, you're telling a story.
Exactly. That's wonderful. Mrinalini?
So moving on to the next question, it's from Supriya Menon, and she asks, most of the advertisements have no connection to the brand or product. It's just the promotion of celebrities or something that is not related to the product. So how do we bring a change to that?
Don't cast celebrities.
Oh my God.
Don't 5 crores.
Don't waste that money. Right? Okay.
Don't waste that money. It's just a complete waste of money, because it's just, and I keep thinking about the IPL as being an example. I mean, what was any of those guys? There was, all I could remember is Dhoni and Alia Bhatt and this thing. And what were they selling? What were they telling us? They weren't even selling the product. I'm saying, why do we remember Rahul and the cred ad? Because they used him in a funny way.
Mm-hmm.
Or using Srinath and Venkatesh, they used him in a funny way, like a boy band. There's a certain, again, it makes no sense, but at least there's a connection. What is the connection otherwise? Yeah, it's so how do we change it? Don't cast them.
No, if you really look at the animation, that is a main point of animated advertisement, where there are no celebrities, nothing. It is all about characters, very attractive characters who means that particular product, and then give. That's exactly where animation comes in.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, we have one more question from Sharika. She's asking, talking about the Indian ad industry, we have been through a phenomenal transformation since the late 70s, early 80s. This industry has faced a lot of brickbats, especially for stereotyping. But more recently, we have a trend of progressive campaigns to woo customers. How do you see the growth and transformation of Indian advertising?
I don't know again what the question is. I could write a whole book on it.
Should I repeat the question, Rahulji?
No, I don't. I would love it if can you simplify it, because it's how do you sum up 70s, 80s to 2021? Yeah, it's this advertising is the story of India, and to me, advertising has to reflect that. You know, part of the reason of us being in advertising is how do you not just sell your brand, but sell your brand via reflecting the fabric of the country you live in. And that to me is what many ads don't do. It merely thinks of how do I sell my product. It does not ask the question, what is the country I live in? And what, so therefore the ads that are either I mean, I don't mind typical ads, because that's just Twitter getting nasty. You know, when people say, oh, how could you show the woman in the kitchen cooking? But women cook in the kitchen. Where do you want her to cook? Oh, women do more than just cooking in the kitchen. Of course they do, but then should I show a man in the kitchen? But then you'll find a reason for that also. You know, and we get so psyched by this kind of thinking. Let it go, yeah. I mean, women are proud of recipes, yeah. Why should you look upon it as... So I think the word stereotyping is a word I hate. Men go to work to earn money, women stay at home and cook. You can't change that. You cannot, you want women to drive to work and men in the kitchen will do that. Then you'll say that ad is nonsensical. It won't make any sense. So this kind of, you know, this kind of pseudo, there's a term that I hate, pseudo-feminism. You know, the same men who criticize these ads will still want their women to cook in the kitchen. Are you going to sit in the kitchen and cook and cut vegetables? Do it, no. Then appreciate the ad. Yeah. Right. So I don't buy all this nonsense. Yeah. You know, to me, it's like, it's what it is. We reflect life, you know. You can't say that, oh, women have moved out of the kitchen after so many years. Of course, they moved out of the kitchen, yeah. But nobody's only saying the woman should be in the kitchen, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
So moving on, we have one question from Rakesh, and he's asking, what is your personal favorite ad campaign, both campaign done by you as well as other campaigns?
That's a really interesting question, yeah. You know, Rakesh, I like ads that have an idea in them. Like, over the years, I've loved Fevicol advertising. The Fevicol ads, a lot of them were very good because it didn't just show people sticking stuff together. You know? It used stickability as being a large thing. You know, that there was a great ad which showed a bus in regional India, and all these people are stuck to the bus. And it's so beautifully expressed what I'd always felt, which is that show your biggest strength, but show it in a creative way. And I think any ad that's why I love my Shopper Stop campaign that I did many years ago and Hamara Bajaj, because I think we really got an idea through. You know, we really strived for what is that idea not made in the factory. And when you are able to sell a client, because see, clients, you can't blame clients for buying or not buying. They're thinking about the cross that have to be. So I've never ever criticized or held it against clients when they don't buy work that I like. I don't, because they didn't see the ad. I mean, they didn't see the way I saw it. But when work does go through and a client buys into it, like, Hari, I've got to say this, man. It's like Amul has believed in this campaign.
Yes.
And believed in this for the last, what is, the doorbell is rung earlier. For the last 60 years, it's not a joke. You know, it's not something that, my phone pay yeah. So the fact that we're looking at a situation where a client says, whatever you've done, I believe in. And whatever you believe in has shown results. A lot of great campaigns are dependent on a marketing manager who changes.
Correct.
Legacy behind, he wants to, and that's the death of a campaign.
Right.
I mean, big ideas and great ideas need time. They need time. It's like slow cooking.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. It's not a fast food, yeah. It needs time.
See, I remember those 2-3 times when we went to Amul to meet Mr. Sodhi.
Yeah.
The passion with which those people were talking, that says it all.
Yeah.
In Amul, amazing.
So with that, we are done with the questions. And with that, we come to the end of this master session. See you again tomorrow with another engaging conversation with the stalwart. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you, Rahul. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Action.
Where the lights fade away, another day brightens up. Look around you, don't feel alone.
See the lights stars above, staying in harmony. Imagine your star in the sky.
Every day is a new day, and anywhere we go, together we stay in harmony. Every day is a new day, and anywhere we go, together we stay in harmony. Let's all snap our fingers as we sing together. Let's all wish to stay like this forever. Let's all clap our hands as we sing together. Let's shout and say, the fun begins here. Let's all snap our fingers as we sing together. Let's all wish to stay like this forever. Let's all clap our hands as we sing together. Let's shout and say, the fun begins here. Where the lights fade away, another day brightens up. Look around you, don't feel alone.